coach. You don't need a coach. Yes, people, sorry about that. Welcome to TOS Live. Yes, today is a match day, but today I thought I should talk a little bit about the rumors that have been going on. We've all heard that Diego Costa has terminated his contract with Atletico Madrid, which simply means he's left Atletico Madrid. Simple as that. And there's been different rumors going on that Tottenham and Arsenal are suitors for Diego Costa. Do you want to see Diego Costa in your club, Arsenal? For me, I don't think I want to see him in our club. He's a good football player. There is no doubt about it. But he's 32 years old. We in Arsenal, we are fond of going for pensioners. And I have a list of people I want to talk about today. It's going to be a very short video, very quick and fast. But I think going for Diego Costa is not the way forward. First and foremost, yes, we all know he's a very good football player. We know he scores a lot of goals. But this guy has a lot of yellow cards as well. His time at Chelsea, playing just 120 matches, he had like, 30 yellow cards. That's more than what some defenders had all their career. 30 freaking yellow cards. That's a bit too much in my opinion. We're already having disciplinary issues right here in Arsenal. We're trying to get a lot of the players to stop getting unnecessary yellow cards and red cards. And then we're going to come and get someone that's really hot-headed. And guess what? He's going to be demanding a lot of currency as well. That's the honest truth. So the question to you is, do you want to see Diego Costa in your club? I don't think I want to see Diego Costa in my club. Not because I don't think he's a good footballer, but I think he's getting old. And little by little, we are becoming a pensioners club like Bolton Wanderers. We need to be careful what we do in Arsenal. And this is the problem in Arsenal. The recruitment has always been the problem. We know this. We know this. I have a few players I want you guys to think about. Because some of you say you want Diego Costa, but many of you haven't realized what Arsenal has done in the past with some of these very old players. And I think it's going to be a big, big issue if we decide to go for Diego Costa. We already have Aubameyang, who is 31, on a very, very big contract. A very big contract. You need to look at longevity. If you're going to get Diego Costa, that means you're going to be giving him a very, very high wage at 32. It's a risky business, in my opinion. It's such a risky business if you want to get in someone really old. Yeah? So, one thing we need to be careful about, Slayer says no. Look, listen, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. And my own reason is not because I don't think he's a good player. I'm just looking at longevity. I'm looking at what is the game plan. Do we need instant success now? Because I hear a lot of fans crying out and saying, oh, they just want instant success. No, we don't want just instant success. We want longevity. We want a situation whereby we can have young players in the squad that we can build on. The likes of Martinelli that can be running around and not losing gas the whole game. Let's look back at some of the recruitments that we've done in the past, which makes me say we're going to turn to a pensioners club if we're not careful. Let's start with this guy, Scolacci. Many of you might not know this guy, but this guy was in Arsenal like 10 years ago. This guy was bought by Arsene Wenger, one of those purchases that till today I have no idea what Wenger was smoking or thinking when he was purchasing this guy. This guy had no impact whatsoever in Arsenal. Absolutely no impact. And these are the kind of recruitment that we've been doing over the years. And then we move over to this other guy, Silvestre. Because Silvestre was also someone who has seen better days. This is someone that, yes, he performed during his prime in Manchester United. But Arsenal still went on to buy him. Arsenal still went on to buy him. And you begin to wonder, what is the aim of this club? What are they looking to achieve in life? Joem here says, will you not put Costa in the same bracket as Cavani and Zlatan? Solve a problem for the year. Future transfer funds towards a centre-back and a right-back. Listen, I hear what you're saying about solving the problem for the year. But the problem I have is Arsenal claim they don't have money, right? Arsenal claim they don't have money. Now, if you claim you don't have money, it doesn't make any sense to be investing in very old players. We are not like Manchester United that has a lot of money. They have more money to spend than us. We are not like Real Madrid that has so much money to spend like us. If we buy this guy, there's a possibility he might do well. I'm not saying he might not do well, but I'm looking at the risk factor. I'm looking at the risk factor. And Diego Costa is not going to demand small wages, Joe. You need to understand that. Diego Costa is not going to demand small wages. He's going to be demanding a lot of wages. And we're already complaining of not having money. Right now, the only way we can move forward in Arsenal is to do a clear out. And after doing a clear out, make some money from the clear out. Then that way we can reinvest in young players. And don't forget, this guy has proper disciplinary issues, bro. Proper disciplinary issues. 30 yellow cards in 120 appearances for a striker. Bruh. Nah, I ain't having that. He could be a good player, no doubt. I know he's a good player, but I ain't going to go with that risk. So I'm only looking at the risk factor. Another player, which we went for, was China. I never know how to pronounce this guy's name. Look, I'm so bad in pronouncing, so I apologize in future if you guys want to curse me for pronouncing names badly. How do you pronounce it? China, I think. Yeah, China. This is another pensioner that we got in the club. What can someone here tell me what his impact was? All these players that I've talked about, what were the impact in Arsenal? What did they offer us? Yes, people talk about experience in the dressing room, but what did they offer us on the pitch? What did they offer us on the pitch? What did Leshana offer us on the pitch? What did Scolaci offer us on the pitch? What did Silvestre offer us on the pitch? These are guys that were way past it before coming to Arsenal. But for some weird reason, we keep going for these kind of players. We keep going for these kind of players. It don't make sense to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, when we are going for all these players, do you know what these teams do? The likes of Manchester United, they go for the likes of Van Persie. They go for the likes of Sanchez, even if Sanchez didn't make it. But these were our best players in the club. But we are taking their pensioners, the people they don't want anymore. Look at Willian now. Willian is another perfect example. Even if I thought I was deceived, thinking Willian was going to do it for me. But Willian is another example of what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? These guys are getting the best of the best from the clubs. We are getting the scraps, the people they don't want anymore. We have to end that. So all this talk about Diego Costa, as far as I'm concerned, we need to just quit it. Just forget it. Let him go to China and go and end his career. I don't want any old players. I want people that are in their prime. I want people that are like 24, 25 that you can have for the next 6 years and build a team with those players. That's what we want. Not people that are way past it. I don't want that in my club. I'm sorry. I'm not going for that. This is a wonderful picture here when Diego Costa was trying to rile up Holding. I don't know if most of you can remember this game. But it was actually trying to get Holding the card. In this point. So this guy, for me, is not going to be a positive influence in Arsenal Football Club. We treat ourselves with a little bit of value, pride, and a little bit of etiquettes. The etiquettes by which we live is a bit too high for Diego Costa. I'm sorry. But listen, enough about Diego Costa. I've said what I have to say about it, and I'm going to keep saying it. If you guys remember Bolton Wanderers, I don't know how many of you on this chat that might have watched Bolton Wanderers in 2004, 2003. These guys had the likes of Campo. They had the likes of Hierro. They had the likes of Jokaev. All these guys were pensioners. They were old players. They were old players. Yes, they did well and all that, but there was no longevity. They only did that for 2 years, and that was it. And where's Bolton Wanderers now? They're down below somewhere. I don't even know if they're in Championship. They're not in Championship. They're probably in League One. So the point I'm making is we need to spend wisely. There's someone else I forgot. I don't have his picture here. Kim Karlstrom. Can you guys remember? Kim Karlstrom. Thank God he was alone. Kim Karlstrom was another person in his 30. I think it was 30 or 31 when we bought him. What were we smoking in Arsenal? What were we thinking of when we were doing all these signings? What? Chelsea went for the likes of Fabregas. They went for the likes of Fabregas. We are going for Kim Karlstrom. So the point I'm making is we need to get our signing right. We don't want no pensioners in the club. Even if I tell you you're going to get experienced players, you can get experienced players that are probably, in their late 20s, maybe 28, 29. Then we can manage them and say, okay, you can get maybe 3 years from them. Do you know what I mean? But listen, enough about that. This is going to be a very quick broadcast. Let's go straight into the Brighton versus Arsenal game, which is coming up by 5 o'clock. Let's just get into that. So, what are your expectations for that game? Do you think we'll have a chance? I was arguing with Claude about this. I felt that we're not favorites, but Claude says we're favorites. Do you guys think we're favorites for that game? Slayer here says League One. Yeah. Oh, thanks. My memory is not very good. I know they've gone down. And I think we got what's his name? We got Holding from Bolton, isn't it? It was their best player then. And look, a lot of people don't really rate Holding in Arsenal. So these are the problems we're having. So what do you guys really think about the Brighton versus Arsenal game? Do you really think we have a chance? Yes, I know we're able to beat Chelsea, but listen, guys, we haven't beaten Brighton since 2017. 2017. That's a long time, bro. That's a long time. And I'm not going to sit down here and kid myself. Mope has scored 2 goals against us in the last 3 games or 4 games. You know, Neil Mope. I'm sure you guys can remember this scene. This was in the last game that we played. Yeah? First and foremost, he caused the injury to Leno, even if I thought it wasn't intentional. And then he had the altercation with Guendouzi, which caused Guendouzi to lose his place in the team. And obviously, we don't know if he's ever going to become an Arsenal player again. He's out on loan. Yeah? And this was him right here saying that the Arsenal players, when they need to be a bit humble enough. And listen, I agree. I'm not going to sit down here and just defend my players for bad behavior. You can't be saying stuff like that. And Guendouzi got what he deserved, in my opinion. But the point remains the same. Do you think we'll be able to beat them? Because Neil Mope is back from injury, like I heard. And I'm hearing that he's going to be in for us. But there was something he was saying here, which I'm going to put on the screen in 1 minute. Let's see if I can just bring these up. Shit. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. I'm very, very bad in this thing. Okay, cool. If I'm just going to zoom in here. Yeah. I'm just going to zoom in here and see what he said. This is Neil Mope now. Right. So here's what he said. Let me just zoom in a bit more. He says, I watched the Arsenal game. They've got good players, and they're not in the league position they want to be in or deserve. We beat them twice last season, so we are not scared. We don't fear any team in the league. Listen, people, the truth about the matter is Neil Mope has been one of the most consistent players in Brighton. The guy has some sort of hunger that I really like to see in players. So him saying all this is actually trying to maybe, play with our heads, probably saying stuff like, we don't fear any team in the league, but they haven't won any games since they beat us at home. So maybe this is our chance. And this is where Claude was coming from when he was arguing with me, telling me that, oh, listen, Tade, stop talking rubbish and all that. It was literally telling me, me and Claude, we never get along on the same points, but we're good friends at the end of the day. But he was telling me that, oh, yeah, because they haven't won at home, it simply means we have a chance. And I was like, listen, when it comes to Arsenal, I don't necessarily just go by the positive records. I go by the negative records. Do you know what I mean? And here he says, I have struggled for the last few weeks in terms of confidence in getting the goal, but I never give up and keep trying hard. Now, that last statement, I totally agree with him. I totally agree with that last statement he made. He never gives up. One thing about Neil Mope is the fact that he has hunger. He has hunger. Now, if someone like Aubameyang can have the hunger Neil Mope has, I will probably rate Aubameyang as one of the best in the world. As far as I'm concerned, Aubameyang is a goal poacher. Yeah, he's someone that poaches goals. When he doesn't score the goals, the question now is, what does Oba offer the team? Does he offer fight? Do you see Oba and say you're inspired by him? When you see Martinelli and the way he plays, you probably say, okay, you know what? This guy is inspiring me. This guy is making me want to be better. This guy is making me want to do better than what I'm doing on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Slayer, you said tough one. What do you mean by tough one? What's that about? I don't know what you mean by tough one. In relation to what? Is it what I just said? It was in relation to Neil Mope, was in relation to Aubameyang. What do you mean by tough one? Can you tell me what you mean? So what I was just simply saying is the fact that I want players that are fighters. And whether you love or hate Mope is a fighter. I've watched a bit of Brighton games, and one thing he does is he keeps fighting, And if most of our players can learn from them, learn from the likes of Martinelli, learn from the likes of him, maybe we'll have a chance in becoming getting to where we deserve to be in the league. But then again, Brighton game is going to be a tough game. I keep saying it, and I'm not going to be taking these guys with a pinch of salt. It's going to be very, very tough. If I get a draw against these guys, I'm going to be happy. But then again, if we put in the kind of performance that we put in against Chelsea, then we're going to eat them for breakfast. No doubt. The question now is, do you guys want to see Oba start? I don't want to see Oba start in today's game. I want the same team. I want the same team that we played against Chelsea. Slayer says what Claude said. Yeah. So if you're just joining, basically what Slayer here is saying is he feels that we are favorites against Brighton, and I don't think we're favorites against Brighton. That's my opinion, and you are totally allowed to disagree with me. That's why we're here, to have that, back and forth conversation and all that. But for me, against Brighton is going to be a tough one. We haven't won there since 2017, and 2017 spans back to Arsene Wenger days. So we had Arsene Wenger, we had Emery, now we have Arteta. Yeah, so let's not forget that. But if you're going to be going by positive history in Arsenal, I don't rely on positive history when it comes to Arsenal, because everyone is breaking records. Wolves broke the records against us. 1977 was the last time that they beat us, and they broke it. Burnley, 1958 was the last time. In fact, they never beat us in the league, but 1958 was the last time they ever beat us in a competition which was not the league. But they never beat us in the league, and they beat us at home, for that matter. So Arsenal are breaking the wrong records, and I've said that before. So we cannot take these guys lightly. Sorry, I'm testy. But then again, you cannot take anything away from the likes of Martinelli and the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe and the performance they put in. One thing we need to be careful about is, I know Arteta is probably trying to, rotate his squad, because you can't play the same team for every 3 days. It's just too much for the players. And people that play football will realize that you are going to be risking your players into getting injuries, and you don't want to do that. So maybe he's not going to have the same squad that he used against Chelsea, but I'll be hoping he has 90% of the squad. So the question now is, if Oba is fit and he comes back in, let's say, for instance, Arteta decides to play Oba, who do you think he's going to take out of the team? Because I don't want to see Saka out of the team. I don't want to see Martinelli out of the team. And I think Laka deserves to stay, because one thing Laka offers, which Oba doesn't offer, is the ability to hold up play and play the likes of Martinelli and play the likes of Saka behind each defenders. That's one thing he offers. Oba will never give you that. No matter what you want to say, he's never going to do that. And I don't think he's ever going to learn that, because 31 already. He's not going to be changing his game to suit anyone. The way he plays is what got him to where he is today. So modern players, the likes of Ibrahimovic, the likes of Ronaldo, these are top players. What they did was they were able to adjust their game to suit. Even Giggs. The reason Giggs lasted that long is because he was able to adjust his game for the better. Not many players are like that. Not many players can adjust or adapt to new situations. Not many players are like that. So we need to put it at the back of our minds. So the question is, will Arteta bench Oba? If left to me, I will say he should bench him. But then again, he's the captain. He's a senior player. It's going to be a very, very tough call. But if you ask me, I want Oba to be benched. And then we'll try out, these youngsters that we tried against Chelsea. We'll go into that game with a bit of vigor, with a bit of energy. And maybe you can bring Oba in a little bit later to come punch some goals in, maybe later. But if he decides to start Arteta, who do you want benched? If you ask me, the only person I would probably want them to put out of the team is Emile Smith-Rowe. Not because he doesn't deserve to be in there. It's just because you need to make way for a senior player. And I think you will get a bit much more from Saka and Martinelli because of their work rate better than Emile Smith-Rowe. Although Emile Smith-Rowe did very well in the game against Chelsea, because I know out of 4 duels, he won 3. As a matter of fact, I saw him not making Kante. I saw him winning the tackle against Kante. So right now, I'm beginning to think what I've just said. Do I really want Emile Smith-Rowe out of the team? Listen, guys, I don't know. I'm just as confused as you. The point remains the same. We're going to be going in there with the hope that we're going to be winning that game. And I hope that Arsenal tends to win that game. So listen, guys, I'm going to be doing a watch-along. I think that's going to be my second watch-along. I did the first one in the last game. I just want to be trying these things out. And now I'm on holiday, so I have a lot of time to do most of these things. Guys, I'm going to be seeing you guys at the watch-along. And if I don't see you at the watch-along, I'm going to be getting Claude, Kenny, and Ada, if they're free, because those guys are busy, guys. If they're free, as usual, they're going to come for the post-match. Make sure you join me for the post-match. I really, really like to hear your opinions, and not just the guys on the stream. I always love to hear your opinions on here. So I will be seeing you guys immediately after the game. That is if you don't come for my watch-along. Talk to you guys soon. Stay safe. Be blessed. Bye.
Are you enjoying the content? Well, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Stop looking at me. Subscribe now. Come on. How is the channel going to grow if you don't subscribe? Help a brother. Thank you very much.